I didn't win the lottery and I didn't get a side job. I'm just a stay-at-home mom, and over the past 12 months, I've saved more than $5,000. Not by working harder, but by being smarter with every little expense. It was one of those perfect Arizona mornings, the kind that almost feels like a movie. The sky was clear, birds were singing on the orange trees, and sunlight shimmered on the surface of the pool behind our house. I could hear laughter, kids running on the lawn, splashing water with their tiny feet. The men were gathered by the grill, beers in hand, smoke rising slowly in the warm air. And there we were, 7 neighborhood moms stretched out on sun loungers, talking about everything from recipes to husbands, from new kitchen gadgets to Netflix shows. I felt relaxed, truly relaxed, after a long week of errands, cleaning, and chasing my boys around the house. Ashley, one of my neighbors said, "You're so lucky. You have such a beautiful home. Your husband's job, your kids, everything seems so perfect." I smiled politely, taking a sip of my iced tea. They all assumed that because my husband Oliver worked in a managerial position at a tech company, money must not be a concern. But deep down, I knew that wasn't the full story. Yes, Oliver had a good job. He worked hard and we lived comfortably. But we weren't rich, not even close. In fact, at the end of most months, our bank account was almost empty. My name is Ashley. I'm 34 years old, a stay-at-home mom in Chandler, Arizona. My husband, Oliver, is a senior operations manager at a local software company. We have 2 little boys, Richard, who's 7, and George, who just turned 4. We live in a cozy suburban house with a pool, a small garden, and a kitchen that's always a little messy but full of life. We're not struggling, but somehow every month feels tight. There's always another expense: school events, birthday gifts, repairs, grocery bills that seem to grow even when I buy the same things. For the longest time, I thought saving money was something for later. Something we'd do once we earned more, once the kids were older, once life slowed down. But one day, that illusion shattered. That illusion. It started with our car, a silver Toyota Highlander that had been part of our family for almost a decade. One morning, it just stopped. The engine made a horrible noise, and when I took it to the repair shop, the mechanic sighed before giving me the estimate. $1,000, maybe more. That night, Oliver and I sat at the kitchen table, the repair quote between us. He rubbed his temples and said, "Maybe it's time to just sell it and get something new. A bigger car, maybe a hybrid. We can make it work." I nodded until he asked, "How much do we have saved up, Ash?" I opened our online banking app, confident I could show him at least a few thousand. But when the number appeared, my heart sank. 4 or 17 or 63 years. Oliver stared at the screen in disbelief. "Where did all the money go?" he asked quietly. I looked around. At the Amazon boxes by the recycling bin, the half-used subscription boxes, the forgotten leftovers in the fridge. It hit me all at once. The coffee runs, the Target just browsing trips, the takeout nights when I was too tired to cook. Little by little, $1,000 a month was slipping through our fingers, and we hadn't even noticed. Oliver didn't yell. He didn't blame me. But that night, I could see the disappointment in his eyes. He'd been working long hours, sometimes coming home past 8 p.m., believing we were slowly building savings, maybe for a family vacation or for the kids' college fund. Instead, there was nothing. He went to bed early that night. I could hear him sighing in the dark. The next morning, he didn't eat breakfast. He just left for work in silence. When the house was quiet again, I sat at the kitchen counter with my laptop open, surrounded by receipts and bills. I started adding up every small just because purchase from the past month. Starbucks runs, impulse Amazon buys, groceries that spoiled before we used them. The total, $978 in 1 month. I closed my eyes and whispered, "I have to change this." That night, I grabbed a sticky note and a black Sharpie. I wrote in big, bold letters, "Save $1,000 per month on $12,000 a year." I stuck it right on the fridge door where everyone could see it. It wasn't just a dream anymore, it was a mission. I didn't plan to cut out everything fun. I just wanted to become aware. If I could save $1,000 a month, we'd have a cushion, a sense of control again. And that was how my 1-year saving journey began. The first thing I tackled was grocery shopping, my biggest money leak. Before, I'd go to the store without a list, tossing anything that looked nice to have into the cart. Now I planned every trip like a mini project. I downloaded apps like Ibotta and Rakuten to get cash back. I started scanning QR codes on shelves to compare prices. I checked online deals before heading out. I learned to stop buying things just because they were on sale. Instead, I asked myself, do I actually need this? At first, it felt tedious, but soon it became almost a game. How much could I save this week? Could I beat last week's total? Within the first month, my grocery bill dropped by almost $300, all from being intentional, not restrictive. Next came the kitchen, the heart of every household and the biggest silent money drainer. I used to throw out leftovers all the time. Half a chicken breast, a few sad vegetables, a bowl of pasta no one wanted. Now I made it my mission to waste nothing. I labeled containers with sticky notes, Tuesday leftovers, lunch ideas, freezer soup mix. Every Friday, I had what I called Pantry Challenge Day, cooking only with what we already had in the pantry or fridge. Sometimes it led to strange combinations, but surprisingly, my family loved it. Richard even started asking, "What's the challenge dinner tonight, Mom?" Our food waste dropped to almost zero. Our grocery costs went down another $150 a month, and I realized frugality could be creative. One evening, I gathered everyone in the living room. I wrote family savings goal on the whiteboard and drew a thermometer chart that we could fill in as our savings grew. Every month we save money, I told them. We'll color the chart together. The boys were excited. They each grabbed markers and promised to help. We made saving a family game. If Richard remembered to turn off the lights, he earned a gold star. If George helped pack his dad's lunch, he got to pick Friday's movie. Oliver, seeing how involved everyone was, started making his own changes, brewing coffee at home, taking homemade lunches instead of buying them at work. For the first time, saving money wasn't a burden. It was teamwork. I didn't use fancy spreadsheets or budgeting apps, just a simple notebook and the sticky note on the fridge. Every month, I wrote down our savings total, even if it was small. Month by month, the numbers started growing. January was $836, February $100, March $1,278, April $985, May $1,045, June $1,230, July $1,067, August $1,089, September $1,240, October $1,112, November $1,115, December $1,013. I still remember the feeling when I added up the total after 12 months. $15,012. I stared at the number, my heart beating faster. I called Oliver into the kitchen, my hands trembling slightly. He looked at the note, then at me, and smiled. "You did it," he said softly. "We did it." That night, after the kids were asleep, we sat by the pool. The same pool where it had all started a year ago. The moonlight reflected on the water. The air smelled like orange blossoms. I opened my laptop and showed Oliver the balance in our savings account. $15,012. He wrapped his arm around me, and for the first time in a long time, we felt free. Not because we had a lot of money, but because we were finally in control. I hadn't felt deprived once that year. Instead, I felt grateful, conscious, alive. If you told me 2 years ago that I could save $15,000 without a full-time job, I would have laughed. But now, I know it's not about how much you earn. It's about how much you keep. Saving isn't about cutting out everything fun. It's about choosing what truly matters. A cup of coffee at home with my husband beats a $6 latte. Cooking together beats takeout. Watching our savings grow beats buying something new just to feel good for 5 minutes. $15,000 didn't change my life, but it changed the way I live every day. So, to every stay-at-home mom out there who feels like money just disappears, you have more power than you think. Start small, track it, celebrate progress. Because one day you'll open your laptop, see your balance, and realize you didn't just save money, you saved your peace of mind. If you've ever felt like your money just disappears without knowing where it went, then my story is for you. Hit like if you found these small saving tips helpful, share this video with other moms so we can all live smarter, and don't forget to subscribe to Smart Family Finance for more real stories from real people about everyday family money management. And what about you? Do you have your own saving tips that help your family? Share them in the comments below. I'd love to hear your story.